Good morning children. This is a second lecture on Python language. I hope that every one of you have gone through with the first lecture. That is very important lecture. Okay. So that you know what is Python and why it is, how it is work. Okay. Now in this lecture I am going to explain you print function using ideally as a calculator, variable in Python and data types. Okay. Now let us start with the print function. What is this print function? Fine. Children, this print function is used to display the output of any command on the screen. Okay, as you have already done in basic language, there also you have used which function? Print for the output. In Python also we use print function for the printing or to display the output of any command on the screen. It can also be used to print the specific message. Okay, whatever the message you want to print as a output, you can use print function. Fine. While using print function, we can show the result of an expression once it is processed. Okay. Now see children, this Python is basically a case sensitive language. Okay, it is a case sensitive programming language. In previous class also I explained you when I taught you a basic language. In that time I have also explained what is the meaning of case sensitive. Okay, now I am explaining it again. When I am saying that Python is a case sensitive language, that means that the Python differentiate between the capital and small letters. Okay, for example, if I write print in which the P is in a capital letter and print in which the P is in a small letter, these two different word, same word with a different way of writing, capital letter and the small letter, are the different take differently by the Python. Okay, so where you have written P capital RINT print, fine, in which the P is capital, it is just a word, not a command. Okay, and if you write print print in which P is in small, that means it is a command. Okay, so it is a case sensitive language. Python is a case sensitive language. I hope that you all understood what is the difference, what is the meaning of case sensitive. Okay, okay. Now let's see one example. This is Python program. I've just written print. Just look at this line. Print, bracket open, inverted comma open, the sum of 10 and 20 is, and quote close, then comma, then 10 plus 20. Now see, once you enter this statement, you will get the output then and there. Fine. The output is the sum of 10 and 20. The string which you pass here within a single quote will appear as it is. And here when you write 10 plus 20, you have used the arithmetic operator here. So this figure will get performed. In this figure, the arithmetic operation will perform and you will get the output of that operator, that is 30. Right? Okay. Now see, in previous slide I have used one separator, comma. Fine. So let's see what are the other separators used in a Python and what is their meaning. So the first is comma. This children, this comma is used to print next value after the space. Fine. Now slash, backward slash, this is backward slash n, that is called new line operator, new line separator. Okay. to print the new line value in the next line. Fine. Next is /t. This is called tab, to print the next value after a tab. And what is the default value of tab? One tab equal to 5 spaces. Okay. So let's see one example. See, here is the example. In this, first statement says print 10 comma, which separator I have used? Comma. 10 comma 20. What is the output? 10 20. Just a single space between 10 and 20. Now in second statement I have written print 10 comma, that is the single space, and then tab. This /t is what? Tab, and then comma, that is again single space, and then 20. Okay, so you can see the 10 and 20 having a space of one tab in between. Okay, so this is the use of separator /t or the tab. Now let's see /n. If I'll write print 10 /n 20, fine. So this 10 will appear first, and /n is used for shifting the text in new line. So the next text, that is 20, will come in a new line. So this is the use of these separators, comma, /t and /n. Okay, now practice this. If you have downloaded, and if you have not downloaded the Python, please download and practice this command. Now let's start with the IDLE. Now children, what do you understand by the IDLE? It is a integrated, full form of IDLE is Integrated Development Environment for Editing and Running Python command. Okay, it is basically an integrated development environment for editing and running Python command. Okay, and the full form of IDLE is Integrated Development and Learning Environment. Integrated Development, this is Integrated Development Learning Environment. Okay, this is the meaning of or full form of IDLE, and why we use it to edit and run the Python command. Okay, let's see one of the example I am explaining you. See, when you get this IDLE and when you write directly without any print statement, without any expression, fine, just write here. I have written 11 plus 22, you will get the answer. Fine. If you write any figure and use minus operator or this operator, you will get the output accordingly. Here I have done division, here I have done multiplication, and then square, and then a simple arithmetic equation. So you will get the output accordingly. Fine. Okay, please practice this also. Now let's see, that was the integrated mode. Now this is script mode. In script mode, what you have to do, click on the file option, select the new file option. The new file you will get like this. Here you will going to select the new file. Once you click on the new file will be created, and from here you can start writing. Fine. Once you have written, what you have to do, simple save the program by clicking the save option from file menu. Fine. Once you click on the save option, you will get a dialog box. Save, give the primary name, any name, and .py. Fine. And then once your program is saved, now you can run that program. This run option also you will get from the run command. When you click on the run command, you will get a small pop-up, run module, or you can press F5 to run your program. Okay, now let's see what is variable. Now variable means not consistent or having a fixed pattern, liable to change, the value which is not fixed. Fine. So we create a memory location, fine, and to store the data on that particular location. Fine. The value may get changed. Fine. The variable may be element, may be feature or the factor that is liable to vary or change. In Python, variable is reserved memory location to store the value. In other words, we can say, children, a variable in Python programs gives the data to computer for processing. Fine. You declare the variable as you have already done in QBasic. Let A equal to 10, let B equal to 20. So here this A and B are variable, okay, in which we are storing the value. Fine. So same here in Python or any programming language, to store the value you require to create a space in a memory. Fine. And that memory location we call through a particular identifier that is called variable. Fine. That memory location is called variable. Fine. Now to declare that variable we use identifier. Now see here, A equal to 10, B equal to 20, C equal to A into B. Fine. Now as you can see, the same thing I have written here in a program code window, and then I want to print this output C. So how I have to write? Print the product of 10 and 20 is, this I have written in a single quote, comma C, because in C the answer is stored. So we never keep this variable in a quote. This also I have explained in previous class, children. Okay. Now, so C is what? Variable which store the value of multiplication value of the product of A into B. Okay. Now, when you run, you will get the output like this. The product of 10 and 20 is, this line will print as it is. This statement will print as it is. The product of 10 and 20 is. So you can see the output will, this statement, this string statement will print as it is. And C, what is the value in C? A into B. And what is the value of A and B? 10 into 20. So it becomes 200. So you will get this output. Okay. Now, when you declare a variable, children, there are some rules. These rules will be same in all the programming language. Okay, whether you are using basic, C++, Python, Java or any other language, rule becomes same. Okay, there is no changes in these rules. So let's see what are the rules to declare or write the variable name. See, first is, it should always start with the alphabet. It may be capital, it may be small, or you can start with underscore. Okay, a variable can consist alphabet, variable can consist digit or underscore. No other special symbol is used or allowed as a variable name. Okay, now a Python keyword cannot be used. Any keyword of any programming language cannot be taken as a variable name. If you are using C++, you cannot take cout, cin as a variable name, because these two are the object or the keyword of that particular programming language. Fine. Same, if you are using C, you cannot take scanf and printf as a variable name. Same here in Python also, the keyword of the Python cannot be taken as a variable name. Fine. Now, see, I have tried to explain you some invalid variable name. Book space name. Why it is invalid? Because space is not allowed between the name. Fine. So book name. You have already done, children, if you remember the data, when you create a database and when you declare the field name, that time also I told you, if you want to write a student name, keep the underscore between that, because in field name also you cannot keep the space. Okay, that field name is actually what? That field name is actually a location of a memory. There we say it is a field name. Basically it is also a variable name. Fine. So book name, it is wrong because the space not allowed. Next is 90 price. That is why it is wrong, because it should not start with numbers. The variable name always start with alphabet or underscore. Okay, now next one is book dot price. Why it is wrong? Because no special symbol except underscore, and here we are using dot, that is wrong. The same happened with the book at the rate author. We cannot use any special symbol. Next is MIN. Why MIN is wrong? Everything is right. No number is using here, no special symbol is there, no space is there. Then why it is wrong? Because this min is a keyword, fine, in Python. So that is why we cannot use it as a variable name. Okay, so these are the rules to declare a variable name in Python. Now, next we will see data type. What do you understand by the data type, children? Just tell me, what do you understand by the data type? See children, suppose you have planned a holiday trip during a vacation and you have to book a ticket for your family members. Fine. The first action that you need to take is to fill the form to get the reservation done, where you need to give your required detail like your train number, date of journey, name, age. Here every piece of data you entered is of a specific type. As your name is a string, your age is a numeric data, the date of journey is a date type of data. Similarly, in any language, when you create a program, one must specify a data type. When you create a memory location, you have to specify which type of data you are going to store in that memory location. Okay, if you are going to store any string type of data, character type of data, at that time we use string data type. If you want to store any date type of data, which may be date of birth or date of joining or date of resignation or date of marriage or date of anything, any data which is related with the which comes value as a date, so you declare it as a date. If any data is containing a numbers, so we declare it as a int, fine. And if the number contains a decimal value also, then we declare it as a float. Okay, so basically we can classify the data in Python three types: int, int. See, all keywords are in small letter. Int, it is used when you have to work with a whole number, fine, positive or negative, both can, it could be both, fine. The range is given here, children. You can store the range. You can see this value you can store till from here minus this value to plus this value. Long integer is there, that is plain integer. Long integer, the integer type of data has a three subcategory: plain integer, or just we can say int. Long integer, suppose the value that lies beyond this given range of simple integer, then you can use long integer, fine. Now boolean or bull, it represents the logical value in the form of true and false, fine, as you did in a database also boolean data type, that is yes no data type. Okay, so here also this language provide you the boolean type of data type which is stored true or false. A boolean represent false and one represent true. If it is 0, that means false, and 1 represent true, fine. Now float represent the floating point value, that means the factorial part of a floating point number may be 0 as well, fine. Like you, if you want to store 3.14 or minus 48.6 or anything, any value which have a decimal sort of data, so you can declare it as a float. Now next is string. Now string data type represent a string of character enclosed within a quotation mark, within a quotation single or double quote mark. Okay. Now for example, if as we have just now explained the product of A and B, this statement I have written in a single quote, fine. So if you want to just print hello Python, welcome to Python, so this string you can, if you want to print this string, you have to write it in a single quote, fine. Or if you want to write my name is so and so, so this my name, which is a string, you can write it in a single quote, fine. Okay. Now next we will see here the some examples. This is integer type of data. Here I have taken a float decimal value, so this is float type of data. This is again simple integer, and then